Welcome to Web Design. First, I'd like to thank Sarah Clark for coming in and being our instructor for the day. It's very kind of her to come in. Um, this was an unexpected thing. I wasn't expecting to be away at this conference right now, so I greatly appreciate her flexibility and helping the class to move forward. What we're going to do today first is a quick review. We're going to look at some of the code that we've gone over recently. First, we're going to talk about media screens or media query. I want you to remember, let's jump over to the CSS, that we're talking about code from top to bottom. My code looks a little big right now. I don't know if I can reduce the size quickly. Okay, Dreamweaver, preferences, Command U. Source size, code view. Let's try this down to 11 and apply. Yeah, okay. So now you can see it slightly smaller. So everything from the very top, CharNet, all the way down to this first gap. I'm going to refer to this as the bundle of code that's your general CSS. And I want you to remember, CSS, the last guy wins. So if we redefine footer lower than that point, again, it'll be the second footer that is the, aesthetics or whatever style you've chosen. Okay, so media screen or media query code says if the screen size is smaller than 2000 in this case, then the articles change this to this way. And also, we're at 1,000, we're going to change to this size, being a full across. The idea here is that, and I don't know why mine are red right now. They're complaining about something that is there. It's saying this bracket's not there, but it's clearly there. Anyway, so another thing to remember about media screens is if you want to make a change to, in this case, article, that's great. Only put what elements, properties you need in the article, which is the ones that need to change. So if you have a background color on article, like I do, you don't have to repeat that. Be as efficient as possible. Okay, so there's a review of media query, media screens, and I hope you have that in your website. All right, next I want to review placing images. No, we haven't done this, and I don't expect this to be in your websites yet. I just want you to remember there's two general ways to put images into your site. Okay, one way, it's the most common way, we just approach the image or we place the image in HTML. If you were going to do that right here, notice I'm inside body. I'm just going to come down after this div, column vertical. I'm going to be underneath that. And I'm going to insert an image. Of course, the image needs to be in my main site root folder, and it needs to be in my images. But once it's there, I'll pick something and I'll put it in there, and I'll say, okay, yeah, whatever. It doesn't know that I'm working in that folder right now, darn it. Okay, so we put it in anyway. Thank goodness. And that's why it has this ridiculously long reference to where to find the image. If you ever see something like that, you haven't done site managed sites yet. And because this is a demo site, I never got around to doing that. My bad. But anyway, the image is there, and there it is. And you can see that it is not responsive, unlike the image of the award winner. This one does not change. The difference being this one, the award winner one, has the style, which is CSS code written directly in there. And this one, the one below it, that image right there, not found, has a set width and height. So I'll change that to the style code, which I'll give you later. Maybe I'll make a new announcement about it. And now the image is responsive. It changes and it adjusts to the screen size, which is great. Okay. Now, in general, I want you to understand, I don't expect you to know all details, but the other way to place an image in is to put it in the background of some element. In this case, I made a class div and I dropped it in. So I find that in the CSS. So I called this class div a key zone, and I put in the code background image, and then it finds the background image, and there it is. Now, a lot of this other code has to be used in order for it to show up, and we'll go over that in more detail. But there's the general gist of it right there. You can put a image in through HTML like this, or you can put it in through CSS like that. And of course, the advantage to the CSS way is, based on your media screens, you can swap out the picture for a smaller picture. And you can make the changes so subtle that most people probably are not going to notice. You know, that this brick wall is getting more and more narrow as we go down. And we're changing slowly from a horizontal to a vertical screen. And you can see we've cropped the pictures to make it so. All right, so that's the advantage of doing the CSS way. It's more work, definitely, but far better control of results. And you'll get far more information about images and placing images in the future. So we haven't even really touched that in full. All right, lastly, another thing I want you to have in your site is the link code. So we'll go back to this little demo page I made. The link code, as you remember, is the letter A, which really stands for anchor, because they were initially called anchor links, even though today we just call them links. And I want you to remember that they have to be written in this order, which is the A has to be defined first. This is a repeat of the A, another way to write it, which I don't even know if you need. Okay, so in fact, I know you don't need it, so maybe I shouldn't get it to you. I just want you to know that that's another way to write it. You'll see it in the textbook, etc. So you need to define the link first, then you need to define visited, then hover, then active. And strangely enough, these have to stay in this order for it to function. And then, here's a multi-rule that active, hover, and visited all have no outline. But anyway, now you can see that I have this code in here, and if I go over an active link, the mouse does indeed change on hover. So hover does change it to hot pink, and it does have an underline. So that's what I have there. So grab that code. You're wondering, where is that code? Oh, in fact, I should show you where I grabbed both things. So, oh yeah, that was the last thing. On step 5, you can grab all the code related to links, and no, I don't want history. I want the announcements. You to be able to go to that announcement right here about media screen, and open that up. Now, some of you are looking at this and going, oh, that's all I need. But I just want you to see that there's a lot more down farther, and encourage you to copy all of that. And then you'll have at least 3 screen sizes built into Dreamweaver. You'll know Dreamweaver is showing it right when you see the breaks at the numbers that you set over there. And there's a lot of debate on numbers, where the break should be. And I don't think that debate's ever going to stop, because the screens continue to change in size and resolution. So, right now I think a general idea is 2,000, 1,000, roughly 900, 600 is a common break. And I usually put in 320 because I know if I can get it to work till 320, that's the smallest iPhone out there, it's going to work. It's the smallest smartphone out there, it's going to work. So those are where I put my breaks. And you can see I'm in the CSS, I'm in the bundle now, so if I scroll down, I start to see the media screen code. All right, lastly, as a new thing for you to learn today, let's learn about rounded corners. And you can see this is called border radius. I wish it was just called rounded corners, but that's the result you get, rounded corners. And so why don't you draw out a square or a rectangle, and this is going to help you remember how to code it in the correct order, because yeah, there is an order to it. Write down A for the top left, B for the top right, and then C, bottom right, D, bottom left. So the code, you can see you write it 4 times, 1, and there's no comma, there's just a space, and okay, B, and then space, and then your C, and then space, and then D. Now you could, if you wanted all 4 corners to be the same, you could take that out, and you could just say, okay, I want all corners at 44, and it does it. Personally, I like the control and the variety that I can create with the 4, so I tend to do it that way. And I find pixels the best measurement system for this. There's other measurement systems too, but I think pixels tend to work well on corner or border radius. Why do they call it border? I don't know. Okay, well, that's the review and the one thing that's new. Now I will challenge you to break into teams. The teams will have to be smaller than the ones we've used for the challenges. Try to get teams around 5 or 6. And I want you to just look at each other's work and figure out, did someone do something on their website that I don't have? So share links with one another, or I guess the links are all there, aren't they? You could just go back and go to the syllabus, and everybody's links here. Find some work. Let's see what Jordan has. Find some work that someone has done, and say, I don't have that in my site yet. Maybe I want to add this. So figure out what somebody's done. Find an attribute to their website. Ask them how they did that, and then add that to your site so your site can be improved. Ideas for this include, HTML symbols, better, media screen use, etc. So go ahead and experiment that way. And then, of course, we're after getting all those things done that we talked about, which is having your media screens in there, having your links updated, and if you want rounded corners, putting that in. I would put it in just for the sake of having the code so you can use it in the future. All right. Thank you very much.